Hey y'all guys, welcome to the Tab and Dillard Podcast, Season 6, Episode 9. I'm Tab and Dillard. This is the Tab and Dillard Podcast. I'm a mowing, edging, grass cutting legend, and I'm glad you joined me on this episode today. A lot to talk about. Sure, a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on now. Just a real brief preview of what you're about to hear about today. We did have another softball game this week. So we ended the season, couple games now. How do we do? We'll just hang on because we got some baby doll news from Memaw's neck of the woods. She won she won a couple new baby dolls this week, and if she won them, she got them. So we talk about that. Team Burger Shed, we off to a pretty good start though. I mean, we won. So we won one game and we lost no games. And I mean, Cody Mantell did get into a fight, but he was kind of standing up for Rance Farnhart, who got pushed by Gilbert Phillips. So I mean, it was like a little bit provoked. Like Rance could stand up for himself. I don't think he would have started a fight with Gilbert. He would have just been like, "Hey man, simmer down." But Cody he starts with the fight. He don't start with the talking. And so we got that to deal with this season. So I'll let you know how that went this week, on the softball fields with Cody Mantell. But we've been getting a lot of stuff coming. So I got them limited edition Early Bird Gets the Perm shirts. You know about that? They a little on the kind of pinkish, purplish kind of new shirts. And Mother's Day, they've been moving. Truth be told, they just been moving. That's how that goes. So those have been going, and then people have been ordering personal greetings. And I told y'all about that before, the personal video greetings from me. And today in the show notes on the podcast, you'll see a link to them Early Bird Gets the Perm shirts and also the personal greetings. But you know what else it is this week? This comes out on Tuesday. I think we're at the last Tuesday in April's right now. I mean, May's like Pickle-Boon just around the corner. Which brings me to another announcement. There's a Pickle-Boon shirt coming out May 1st. But we ain't talking about that. What I'm saying is that watermelon helmet season is upon us. Like City Poo is starting to open now. They doing just some little things, not full public yet, but they doing like a water aerobics class. So that means that my Memaw and Mabel Childress are getting down there now, making their way down there. And Coach Hicks going to have to deal with all that. But also the watermelon helmet season. So I got a watermelon, and then this week I'm going to be carving it up. And I got a new prototype for the new season. I got an idea I've been kicking around. I'm going to try it. I think, we always dealing with style and safety when you're talking about the watermelon helmet. But that might be a little sporty. And it's always good for snacks. But, I mean, that's a conversation for a different day. And you want to make sure that you got a plan for the watermelon, the actual melon, when you buy a watermelon to make a helmet with. You don't want to eat it yourself. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, it'll tear your guts up. Even if you ain't got tender guts like Myron Curtis do, a whole watermelon, half a watermelon, let's be honest, that'll tear you up. Boy, you can't be 2 steps from a toilet if you do that. But I got the watermelon helmet shirt, and that's what brings me to the point where the shirt say, share it, then wear it. You got a member in your head, in the brain part of your head, to share that watermelon. Don't eat it all. Because you ain't going to need to go outside to wear any kind of helmet. You just need to stay in until that runs its course kind of thing. So that's coming up too. I mean, we on the very front end of watermelon helmet season now, and which means if City Poo's about to open up, it's cannonball season too. So hello spring. And really, that spring, summer festivities is just, boy, they rattling around in my head. I'm thinking about it a little bit more, and thinking, boy, welcome. I'm glad you're here kind of thing. So, about our game this week, Team Burger Shed, I will get to that in a minute. But Rance Farnhart's mama, Sybil, her and her husband, Jerry Don Farnhart, they run the flea market in town. And they get these items, they come in, and, Sybil got everybody's phone number. And Memaw got a landline in her trailer. And Sybil called her this week and said, "You want to come down here? I got something for you." Well, Memaw believed her. She took her 91 Buick Regal down there. And sure enough, Sybil got some new baby dolls down at the flea market. And basically, she gave Memaw the first pick of the litter. I mean, I don't know if you call baby dolls litters. I don't know how they how they come into being. If they like litters or scoos like fishes, or because they ain't real people. Contraries to what Memaw believed, they don't really eat anything at their tea parties or nothing like that. She want to have a Snicker bar party because she more partial to that, but that's a story for a different time too. I mean, that's a different thing. But I'll tell you right now, Memaw get down there, and there's a little feller who I guess he in the mid to late 1800s is when he was around. This little doll named Clive Bushnell, and his family ran a mercantile store from the Oklahoma to the California Gold Rush Trail. In between there, they ran a mercantile store, maybe somewhere in present-day Arizona, I guess you'd say. And he helps load sundries and dry goods into customers' wagons. Well, Memaw see Clive Bushnell and fall in love with that little feller. Said, "Hey, coming home with me." And then there was another fella. His name's Jason Paul Roger Hickman, and this feller's a race car driver and a peach farmer. Memaw snapped him up too, so she got both them new baby dolls to go back down to her trailer with her. Now, you know what that means as well as I know what that means. Memaw ain't got all the shelf space in the world. She got a few shelves in her front room there for them baby dolls. She got the main, like the all-star shelf. I mean, them the heavy hitters, them the ones that you don't just, you don't rotate them out too lightly. But I'll tell you right now, Beatrice Gail Merton's got a new spot now. She got rotated out. And let me just give to you the all-star shelf in case you ain't familiar with Memaw's baby dolls. Right smack dab in the middle. Well, I'll get to her. I guess she's the headliner, so I'll say her last. But there's Baby Tish Saddles, Becky Thacker Haynes, Clarice Bonwell, Babs Gristle, Beatrice Gail Merton, who is not on the all-star shelf. More on that in a minute. And then right in the middle, hairbrush twice daily, Rachel Christine! Rachel Christine! Like that away. That's Memaw's favorite. And I know it, Rachel Christine know it, and all them other baby dolls know it. And now, them two new baby dolls, Clive Bushnell and his other buddy Jason there, he knowed it too. So, they got on that top shelf. Beatrice Gail Merton got off the all-star shelf all the way under Memaw's bed in one of them boxes. And then Babs Gristle went from all-star shelf to the one right below that kind of thing. Just squeezed her on with them other ones, them second string dolls, I guess you call them. So, now, I don't want to say anything about Beatrice Gail Merton. She ain't in the doghouse. You ain't necessarily got to be done something bad in Memaw's eyes to get put there. Sometimes she just ain't got room. It's a pretty fluid situation, you might say, at the baby doll all-star shelf. So, that could change within a week. I mean, I don't know what kind of chaos this is going to start bringing these two fellas in there with them gals on them baby doll shelves. I don't know, but, I mean, that's Memaw's problem. She's bringing into her trailer. But I'm just telling you, it's an exciting week for Memaw to go from, none of them baby dolls that are them fellas. She only had them gal baby dolls before, so she turned over a new leaf, and I don't know if she's going to expand that collection, make it bigger, make it grow. I don't know if she's going to ask me or somebody, maybe JT Whitlow in the trailer park, to put up more shelves for her, because either it's more shelves or more boxes, to put them under the bed. I don't know. I don't know what her plan is, and I ain't trying to go up my way to find out, because it might just be more work or headache for me or both of them. That's the best I can tell. How about that softball game, you asking? Well, I tell you, we got our uniforms. Now we are working, and folks have been asking me, hey, when you getting them softball shirts, them new ones? And honestly, y'all guys, it's just a matter of me sitting down. I got the design in my head, but I got to get it out of my hand. I'm left-handed. I got to write it or draw it down on the paper, and then get it to the t-shirt factory to get it made. And then also I'm working on like a map of the town. Well, I ain't working on it. Like, I know the map in my head because I live here, but I was going to get it down because folks been wanting a map. I don't know if that's going to be on a shirt. That might be more of a poster. I mean, because there's a lot of streets and things you got to figure out, where people live. Oh, that's where Hank Thistle lives, and that's his burn pile, kind of thing. Oh, there's Maggie Flowers. It is right there next to Bud's Burger Shed. And, oh, there's Donut Goals down the street. So you can see all that. And so I know, I just ain't sat down to draw it. And so I'm going to try to do that. So that's some stuff on the horizon, when it comes to my town. And Chancellor Park, where I live, and the trailer park I live in, there's all that going on. Like the Pickle Boone shirt is Pickle Booning right around May 1st. And then this new softball shirt and on the town map, we see maybe in June if I can get my act together. We almost in May right now, so I don't see why I couldn't just hunker down with a Sharpie marker and a piece of typing paper and get that knocked out 2 pieces of typing paper, same Sharpie probably. Just drawed it in black way I see it, best I can tell. So anyhow, we get to the softball fields this week, and Myron Curtis, he had a rough week last week. Them jalapeno poppers, Maribeth Tucker just starting off the season like you'd think she'd start off the season, changing the menu, just thinking, oh, why don't I bring this? Why don't I try that? And Myron's like, why don't I try it? Them jalapeno poppers before the game start. I can give you a few reasons not to, but he got a few of his own now. He's steady. He tested the limits of that park bathroom. I mean, I heard it crying uncle. I mean, I only got one ply in them park bathrooms too, so he had to really go through a lot out there. But this week, Myron didn't have no tummy trouble. He was good. His guts was free of anything, jalapeno popper, anything spicy he can't take. He ain't like Mort Dwydell. Mort Dwydell can't have no milk, he said, or like it's dairy, like ice cream got milk in it. You might know that. Butter do. The yogurts, I guess, do too. So he can't have that because he got the maltose apology. It's where you can't have no dairy because if you do it tear your guts out. He got little pills if he gets hold of any of that dairy kind of thing because he got the milk trap rosary where if you get it, ooh, tummy trouble. Oh boy, it's bad news. It's the milk trait bihageny, and if you read about it in the newspaper or wherever they talk about that kind of stuff, it can be pretty rough, or if you got it yourself. But Mort, that ain't spicy food with Mort. It's like the milk or the ice cream or that kind of thing. Sometimes he'll go for it anyway because he want a chocolate shake so bad or whatever. But everybody turned up to the game this week in good spirits. Brody Childress didn't get there for a couple innings, but we know that when we started the season that he ain't particularly on time. We working on that with him, and second, third inning, that ain't bad. So who did we play this week is probably what you're asking. Well, last week, remember, we played Team Thunder Punch, and we won. And that was a close game, and it was a good game, and they the defending champs. They took the whole championship in the fall. So for us to start off our season like that, we was feeling pretty good. Coach Hicks, he's an athlete. And he got Gilbert Phillips on his team. That's who fought with Cody Mantell, as you know. And Gilbert's a big boy. Beat up an adult bull moose one time. It's Chlorine Phillips' son. So, that was a good game, good test to, see where we was as Team Burger Shed. And pretty much looked like we in a good spot. So we get out there this week, and Guthrie's Hunting Supply is playing us. And they got a pretty good team, too. But I'll tell you right now, third inning, fake bunt, stole first base. You're probably thinking, how in the world did that happen? How did you steal first base on a fake bunt? I stole it just like I told you I did. Boy, is he about to bunt? Drop that bat and just sprint. Head first slide. They ain't never seen nothing like that. I'm quick, I'm wiry, I'm speedy, and I'm determined. I got the jaw strength of a rat terrier on a tennis ball. Like I won't let go when I got my mindset on something. So I got to first base. Then, what was it, probably the fifth inning, I got to pitch. And I only gave one up hit. I only pitched one inning, so I basically pitched a one-hitter. Like, you tell somebody that, they're like, whoa, that's pretty good. And that is good for one inning in adult league softball to only give up one hit. Now, I did give up 2 walks before I gave up that hit, and then the one hit was a 3-run homer. So it really ate into the score. We had a little bit of a lead at that time, and then that pretty much all but disappeared. We had like a 1-run lead. But then JT Whitlow, 6 innings, something like that, him and Rusty Tidwell go back to back. Now, if you're not familiar with adult softball league terms, that means you batting and you hit a homer, and then the next guy batting, he get up and he hit a homer too. Now, Rusty, he was batting ahead, JT, and he had Rance on base. So Rance Barnhart was on second. And then he hit a dinger, so that's 2 runs because it's 2-run homer because Rance scored and then Rusty scored. Well, then JT get up there with nobody on base, and he launched it over the center field wall. That's where them hay bales are, where Chet Dilroy teaches a junior archery class, but they don't do it on game nights. It's new rules this year, Like I told y'all, like Major League Baseball, they got bigger bases and they got a pitch clock. We didn't get none of that added to our adult softball league, but we did say junior archers can't be practicing during softball games because you don't want a stray arrow to get you in the thigh or the calf muscle or the foot. With the right trajectory, it could go through a cleat, the top of a cleat. Right where the tongue is, where it's a little thinner. You just don't want to take that chance. So anyways, JT launched the ball over there near them hay bales, rolled up on it. And by the end of the game, well, there was one fight. You're probably wondering about Cody Mantell. Well, his cousin, Whitney, that's the gal that's dating JT Whitlow, she brought an air horn.
Don't nobody want attention like Whitney want attention. You can't tell her to stop. She don't understand the word stop. She brought an air horn. Well, Lindy Ray Mantell was there with their daughter Daphne, with her and Cody's daughter, and they expecting a new baby. And you know, Lindy Ray works down at Early Bird, gets the perm, but don't matter no how about that. That don't have nothing to do with what they're doing at the game. She at the game in the bleachers, and Whitney sitting next to her. Whitney bring that air horn, and she honk honk. You know, she spray off that air horn kind of thing next to Lindy Ray Mantell's pregnant belly. Well, Cody was hot. He went hollering at Whitney like, what are you going to do? My baby's going to be born deaf. Don't you be doing that kind of thing. So, like, I mean, they didn't fight. There wasn't no fist fight, nothing like that, you know, and they cousins. But Cody was mad. I mean, that's the closest thing he got to fighting tonight. Did okay on the field. I mean, at the end of the game, we won. We beat Gutcher's Hunting Supply. And Team Burger Shed, we 2-0, which is basically undefeated. If you do the math on that, we undefeated. Ain't nobody beat us yet. So we all happy about that. And it was just a good day. So I think we got everything we need. There was nothing about the concession stand. I didn't hear one thing about the concession stand till we got over there after the game, because you get a free snow cone if you win. And I just wanted to start at the top. You know, I didn't stick around last week to get a free snow cone, so now this is my first snow cone of the season. So I go for what flavor? I go for my favorite flavor. My favorite snow cone flavor. It ain't my favorite flavor in anything else. But tangerine, that's my favorite snow cone flavor. I know. But then I like grape and cherry, you know, the classics. Tiger's blood, peach, watermelon, all kinds of them. But I got tangerine. And that's when I got to the concession stand, Mary Beth's working, and I peekaboo in there, and all I see was Skittles, Soda Pops, hot dogs, snow cones. And I didn't want to cause no waves. I didn't say nothing like, way to go, Mary Beth. I can't believe you didn't mess things up with a pot of chili tonight or something like that. Or jalapeno poppers again. Or them hot butter dinner rolls that are softer than a baby's angel leg. She uses her mama's recipe. Them's good, but they cause like big old lines. And she barely ever make enough anyways when she do that. So I just soon her stick to the menu, you know, like out of the way. And she did. Like, no news is good news from the concession stands, the way I see it. And then from the fields, if we got more runs than the other team at the end, then that's good news too. So I mean, we had a good week. We had a good week, and you know what this do for me when you early in a softball season like this, it just gets my haunches what I call pre-stretched. Now they're getting ready for cannonball season. So that's good. It is turkey salmon season, so you know when I call them and start catching them, that's gonna come in handy. All my softball practice of the stretching the haunches. That's how you call a turkey salmon, but you can't just call it, you know, with the mouth. You got to move like a turkey salmon. All of that is what helps draw them in, and then you're able to catch them if you're out on the hunt. But I bet I had a good day at the softball field. But now what I'm doing now, I told you already, I got my eye set on a watermelon helmet and the new prototype that's coming out real soon. Working on that. And then the other thing is the city poo. I mean, that diving board. Tavin, what's that? Hey, Tavin. It's calling my name. The diving board's calling my name. And what do you do when a diving board calls your name? You answer that call. That is correct. So it was a good week. I mean, Cricket ended up making it down to the softball fields afterwards. I seen her, and she wanted a little bite of that tangerine snow cone, and I ain't too good at sharing snow cones. I'll be honest with y'all guys, especially when I'm hot and sweaty after a softball game, and to the point where I was like, well, you can have that, but I'll go ahead and pay for, you know, to have a couple. Well, Mary Beth let Cricket have one for free because Cricket's going to volunteer there a couple times during the season, so I guess that's a good trade-off. And Cricket didn't really want tangerine anyway, truth be told. Turns out she wanted cherry, so that worked out. She's been busy down at the nursing home. You know, Doreen Fundle, she doing all right. Dewey Morton tried to escape twice this week. I mean, they pretty low-key escapes. You know, they wasn't hard to find him. He didn't even make it to the front door, but you could tell he's trying to escape. He had his pillowcase full of stuff like a hobo, you know, like slinged over his shoulder. And he left a note on his door. It said, "Goodbye, I'm leaving." So they knowed that he was trying to run away. That's how they knowed. And so she had to do that. You know, she regular tracker down there at the nursing home, hunting down folks that's trying to mosey on out like that away. So she's been busy, and then because we in spring, the produce on her daddy's farm that's growing, she delivering that to the burger shed. So I don't know, how many games she's gonna make, but she's gonna be down at the burger shed, from the burger shed, she's gonna be down at Team Burger Shed's games, food times this season to work that concession stand. But hopefully she'll peekaboo right outside the bank, right outside the concession stand, and look over at us and actually watch the game. She told me, she goes, I want to see you play. I was like, it's not a big deal. I did steal first on a fake bunt, but that's okay. You ain't got to see everything I do, Cricket. And she goes, okay. So we had a good week. Everybody's feeling good. Ain't nobody mad yet. Cody Mantell, he's kind of always mad, but he's less mad this week. So I think that's a win. Lindy Ray's excited about Early Bird because she back on hair duty, and ain't nobody got their bangs cut like a bulldog yet, which really got her in a lot of trouble, a year and a half ago. So that's good. And we watching steady watching over the horizon for cannonball season. It's basically here. I appreciate y'all joining me here on the Tap and Dillard podcast. It's like a radio show, so you could be anywhere you want to be right now listening to it, as long as you got the way to listen to it, like a speaker or some radio that play it, or whatever the device that play it, because you can't hear me from my trailer in Chancellor Park. I don't holler loud enough, so you ain't hearing it that way. You got to be playing it on something. I know that. You know that. And season 6, episode 9 of the Tap and Dillard podcast is what you've been listening to. But I want to tell y'all, I've seen y'all been rating on Apple Podcast. I appreciate them ratings. We almost at 700 ratings, and that tells folks, how it is, because it's what they rate them to. It goes from 5 stars on down to 1, maybe no stars. I don't know. So as people rate, then it helps promote the podcast. People are like, okay, it doesn't look like folks actually hate this thing, so maybe I'll give it a listen, or share it with somebody. But or leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking of it. My number, I put it in show notes today, was 501-322-6249. And then, of course, my email is tappandillard@gmail.com. The business inquiries. Some folks have been wanting commercials for their businesses and stuff, so email is probably the best way to do that. But you got in the show notes today, is packed. It's jam-packed. Limited edition Early Bird Gets the Perm shirt. Good Mother's Day gift, but folks getting it for any day gift. It's good for wearing around. Probably good for archery practice, softball practice, cannonball practice. Although I typically don't wear my shirt there, but I towel off and then I put it on, kind of thing. But then you'll also see the watermelon helmet shirt. I'll put that link in the show notes today. The link to the personal video greetings, those have been coming in pretty steady. I'll put a link to that. Obviously my phone number will be down there, my email will be down there, and I appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out for this week's episode of the Tap and Dillard podcast. Memaw's happy. Team Burger Shed, we happy. And hey, if you ain't been put in a box under Memaw's bed in the trailer this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tap and Dillard. This is the Tap and Dillard podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.